Hello everybody, welcome to another video and welcome to another sort of, I don't know what to call them, random ramble, rant, vloggy kind of update thing. The first channel has gone a little bit quiet. I've been on holiday for the last couple of weeks. It was a really last minute fit thing, so that's why there hasn't been any videos on there. I did schedule one to upload the Sunday I was away, but it just vanished from my uploads list. I don't know what's going on. So I'll try that video again later on this week. But yeah, I just have a couple of little things to talk about. Really, I've got a laptop there that's in for repair. Windows 10 was released a couple of days ago now. OnePlus 2 was announced a couple of days ago, and that I am so pumped for. And for you wonderful people on the second channel, I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek at some of the parts for the G5 Hackintosh, because they have started to rolling now. It's started, the process has started. I've got all the parts on their way, and they're slowly arriving in their dribs and drabs. So yeah, first port of call, Windows 10. So I was running on the Hackintosh Windows 8.1 for since it was built. On the Mac Pro I run Windows 7 and Windows 8 for various times, and I hated it. I really, genuinely, I could not use Windows for anything other than just gaming. And since installing Windows 10 a couple of days ago, I have solely used this. Partly because I did a fresh install, so I've been installing everything all over again. But partly because I've just been really enjoying it. I've been so surprised. I think I made a video on it way back when Windows 8 came out originally, when it was like a technical preview. And I saw a lot of potential there. I really enjoyed some of the aspects they took towards Windows 8, but it turned out to be a bit of a fragmented mess of an operating system. And this Windows 10 feels like what Windows 8 should have been. It's still a little bit fragmented in parts. Like, you have one setting here which is filled with like all Metro stuff, and then you still have the old control panel with all I just don't see just integrated into one app. I don't understand that. It's still a little bit weird like that, but nowhere near to the same extent as what Windows 8 was like. The start menu's back, which is like brilliant. Yeah, I like the way they've still incorporated the tiles, because I like to have myself a clean desktop, and I have all my apps and stuff in there. I'm still going to be using Windows for just games at the moment. I'm so heavily invested in OS 10, I really don't think it can take its place, but I've been using it for a couple of days and it has been rock solid stable, quick. For some reason, in pretty much any other old version of Windows I've run, you always get, especially when you leave the system running idle for a minute, you always get random processes just start up in the background and they eat away at your CPU, your memory, and your disk, and it's just horrible. I haven't had any of that in Windows 10, so I don't know what I don't even know what the processes were, because they're so generic, the names. It's just system, or I don't know if it has something to do with the way Windows, because I know that defragmentation of the hard disks and stuff, they have to keep on top of that. I don't know if that's part of it. I honestly don't know, but that was one of my pet hates, and it just seems to not be as much, if an issue at all, here. I haven't had any of that sort of issue, and yeah, I've just been really enjoying it. Yeah, that's Windows 10. 2 thumbs up from me. Second little point then, the OnePlus 2. Oh, the OnePlus 2. I didn't have much hype for it, to be honest. I've been using a Nexus 4 now for about I don't know, just after I did my Sharp Atmos Crystal review, and I just use my phone for music. That's pretty much it these days. All I use it for, music and obviously social media. But I had no real hype going into this phone because they had almost played it down a little bit. They came out and said from day dot that it was going to be more premium than the OnePlus One and it was going to be more expensive. And I just downloaded the because they did the launch in VR, which is pretty cool. The keynote introduction announcement thing was cheesy as fuck, but it was still a pretty cool way of announcing a new product. And yeah, I downloaded that at the last minute, watched the keynote, and they didn't announce the price, and it was like 4 AM at this point. I was like, oh god. And then they posted on Twitter that they'd be announcing the price in 10 minutes, and for the 64 gig model, £289. £20 more expensive than what the OnePlus One cost last year. And for that, you get a gorgeous premium metal build, an improved camera with optical image stabilization and laser autofocus. What else you get? You get a Snapdragon 810 processor, octa-core I believe it is, 4 gigs of RAM, a fingerprint sensor. It's just perfect in every way. It is literally my perfect phone. It's a 1080p display, which I am over the moon that they didn't go Quad HD because it just eats battery life, eats performance, and in my opinion, I've used Quad HD phones, and putting it side by side with the 1080p phone, you can't tell the difference. The panel, they've said, is massively improved over the OnePlus One. Contrast ratios, brightness, that's all I care about. Honestly, you could give me a 720p phone and I'd be happy. So yeah, I was really happy that they shared my sort of view on pixel density in smartphones. The style swap covers, I need to get myself a Kevlar OnePlus 2. They've finally figured out how to do it nicely, and they got all of the mahogany ones, and it just looks great. I am in love with it, guys. But the invites, they've already got about 1 million reservations or something, and it's going to take a long time to get one probably. I'm not sure if people who bought the OnePlus One, because of course I bought one last year, I'm not sure if they get priority, but I still, even if I wanted to, I don't have the money right now to buy one. So I almost definitely will end up picking one up, but it won't be anytime soon. Now on to this guy. I have another Retina MacBook Pro in for repair. This is a late 2013, exact same spec as the one I sold a couple of weeks ago. Late 2013, 2.5 gigahertz, Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM. It's the late 2013 one. I can't remember the specs off the top of my head actually. And it is just a lovely, lovely laptop. It's in great mint condition, not a scratch on it. And yeah, it's really, really gorgeous. I bought it for £150. The seller said basically it came as part of a job lot, no power supply, no SSD, and it wouldn't turn on basically. So I got to work basically. We have an 80 watt power supply. Obviously I don't have a MagSafe 2 because I don't have any of these newer laptops, but we do have an 80 watt old MagSafe. So I just popped the MagSafe 2 connector out of the little enclosure basically, because like electronically they're identical, it's just a little bit thinner. Booted up straight away. Booted up into Yosemite on an external disk, and it was absolutely perfect. The battery is shot, and a couple of the keys don't work, so I'm going to have to replace the keyboard, which I hate doing. It's a bastard of a job to replace the keyboards on these unibody MacBooks. But aside from that, it's perfect. I've got everything on its way. In total, I've spent, I believe, £270 on this, and it's going to be a fully working Retina MacBook Pro. I can sell it on for 600, possibly 650, depending on how mean I feel. And yeah, easy £300-400 profit. So yeah, this is what I've been doing basically. This is how I've been making my money recently. Buying in these laptops, refurbing them, and then selling them on. It takes a little bit of time, especially with a new eBay account because I only turned 18 a few months ago. so I've still got some restrictions on how much I can list. But once I can get going, I can proper churn these out, and once I get a proper float going in PayPal, there's serious money to be made. Even if you're making like £50, £100 on a laptop, if you can get three laptops out a week, it's not much effort and not much time for a very, very nice little income. So yeah, and we're going to come back to them in a minute. Here is the PowerMac G5. Now, you haven't seen this on the channel, I don't think. I'm not sure if you've seen it at all. This is the video that was scheduled for a couple of Sundays ago. It was the unboxing for this. It came in its original box. It's in mint condition. There's not a scratch on it anywhere, and it is absolutely perfect. This is what our Hackintosh is going to go inside. On top of there, you can see the laser hive kit. I've had all of these parts for a couple of weeks now. It's just the others that I'm waiting on. What have we got here? Motherboard tray, back panel. I'm gonna have to pick myself up a Dremel. I haven't ordered one of them yet. And like the IO Shield, what do you call it? Bezel surround sort of thing. And yeah, so I've got laser hive kit, which is the main substance of what allows me to work inside this and put normal ATX components in it. And then over here we have all of our cooling. Now, there is 7 fans here. There is going to be 7 fans in this system in total. We've got 2 Gelid Silent 6 60mm fans here. They are going to cool the power supply. So again, in a similar way, basically the whole cooling system is going to work in a very similar way to what it did in the G5 originally. I'm reusing the mounting points, fan sizes, fan assemblies, all that sort of stuff. They're going to sit in the front, suck air in. If I need to, I can pick another 2 up and have them as exhaust, but they're going to run at 5 volts. I've tested how much air they push through, and I've tested it to what's in the CX500M, the power supply I've got at the moment. And it's surprisingly a similar sort of airflow, so it should be okay. But if worse comes to worse, then I can pick another 2 up. There is the One Arctic F8 80mm fan. This is going to be sat in the PCI, you know, where the speaker and the intake fan is for the PCI cards. That's going to sit there, below over the graphics card and the Wi-Fi cards. This is the Wi-Fi adapter, mini PCI Express to normal PCI Express. Instead of buying a new card, I just thought, as I have one in there already, may as well reuse it. That was only a couple of quid. And these are the Arctic F9 92mm fans. Now, these are going to sit in the original spots where they did originally in the G5 as intake and exhaust. They're all going to be running at 5 volts. All of these fans, if I can possibly do it, are going to be running at 5 volts. So this whole system is going to be virtually silent. It's going to be absolutely great. And they're all going to blow air over a Zalman FX70 passive heatsink, CPU heatsink. It is a beastly heatsink. Look it up if you don't know what they are. But they are these massive beastly things that don't require fans. So we're going to have 4 of them in conjunction as well, and that'll be awesome. That'll be such an awesome setup. It's going to run so cool. I'm putting an i5 4570S. That's also the energy efficient Core i5. I don't want to give too much away here. I'm getting so excited now. Here we have one of the Molex to 4 5-volt splitters. I got a couple of these lying around, and here is some wire. I have these lying around, and they have like headers on the end of them, motherboard headers. So I thought I might as well reuse them. So that's how I'm going to get the front panel working, USB, LED, power button, etc. And yeah, that's pretty much as far as I've got so far with the Hackintosh. It's coming together quite nicely. It's been very, very slow. If I can get it done by the end of August, that would be absolutely great, but I also want to get this done before tackling the Hackintosh. This is, of course, our 21.5-inch iMac. That's the logic board as well, sat there. Basically, that's the only thing that was broken with it. It was liquid damage. All the other components worked beautifully. Sold them all. That's the only part that hasn't sold yet. And yeah, I even sold the panel, and that's what I'm going to go on to now. I basically, after making that video saying it's just a case of getting the main boards and basically that's it, there's a lot more to it actually, because there's LED driver boards and all sorts of stuff. It's a lot more complicated than I originally thought, and because it's Apple and because it's an iMac, they all specifically designed those boards and those components to work with each other, and it was a bit of a nightmare. I'm completely new to working on LCDs and stuff, and I really did not know where to even begin. So I had to abandon that. I sold the LCD for £150, which is just crazy, and all the other components, it came to about just under £500, and I only paid £100 for the iMac altogether, so I made hundreds of pounds, and I'm also going to get a half-decent monitor out of it. Basically what I'm going to do is pick up a Dell panel, a really nice Dell panel, not some cheapy crappy thing, and effectively figure out a way, either by, because of course the screw holes are in place from the existing, or the iMac's panel, and possibly get some metal panels, weld or epoxy or something these plates to the back of the panel, screw it in where the iMac was, and basically use metal sheets or metal plates to make the same shape as the iMac's panel was, if you can possibly understand what I'm trying to say. It's going to be a bit of a job, and it may look shit. It's a very obscure sort of project, and I'm not sure how good it's going to look at the end of it, but basically the plan is to have a really nice glossy Dell panel in this iMac enclosure with a nice USB hub on the back. It'll run off of, I'm not sure what that Dell panel I'm looking at runs off of. I think it's DisplayPort, and yeah, it'll be a USB port, and it'll all be fine and dandy, and it'll look amazing and seamless at the end. But I'm sure, I don't know, it depends how well I can pull it off. But that's basically my revised plans. It's going to be a little bit more hacked together than I originally anticipated, but yeah, the plan is then, if this does work, which I'm like cross fingers it does turn out really nicely, because I'm going to be selling that for 200, because I'm trying to make money wherever I possibly can at the moment, guys. So then that's easy money there, and I've got a monitor, and then hopefully, if that turns out well, I can pick up a 27-inch iMac's enclosure, and then have a nice 1440p 27-inch main display, and then a dinky little 21.5-inch 1080p as a sort of secondary monitor, because I need more space than just 1080p. One of them is not good enough when you're coming from that, so that's the long-term plan, but I just don't have the money to do everything I want to at the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say for now, guys. I'm doing my best to get everything in as quickly as possible so I can get things going on the main channel. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video in some shape or form, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.